Got to get my shirt right here.
Does that red button mean that we're on the Facebook?
We are on the Facebook.
So now it starts officially.
Yeah, now you got to watch what you say.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, you guys? Reclaiming Lives Recovery Cafe, Brandon Orr. Super blessed to be able to be here today. Super blessed to be able to have who we have with us today. Brent, he, I met him a while back, a couple years ago when he was working out in Phoenix, and he's an inspiration, and he lives to give back, and when he does it with all of his heart and everything he has. And I asked him the other day, we were at a Park and Pray, to be on Facebook Live with us, and he without hesitance said, yeah, I'll do it. So today we are blessed to have Brent with us today. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Surprisingly not nervous like I thought I would be.
That's what everybody says.
Oh, good.
Everybody's a little gun shy at first, but the purpose of this whole thing is to reach out to the community and talk a little bit about your story. We aren't the Addiction Cafe, we're the Recovery Cafe, and you just pour recovery out everywhere you go, and it shows from a distance. So we're just blessed to be able to have you with us.
Nice.
I'm glad you took the opportunity.
Totally, man. My pleasure.
So what's been going on with you? How have you been?
Good. I'm grateful. I'm truly grateful. I'm grateful that I'm where I'm at, and I get to do what I do. I love my job. Like love my job. 43 years old, and this is the first job. It's not even really a job, but I mean, I get paid, so it's a job or career that it doesn't feel like I'm going to work. I feel like I'm doing what I've been wanting to do. So,
bro,
I'm grateful.
I get it, right?
Yeah,
I get it. Like,
I know you do.
I get that well. During the whole COVID spell, how did you take all that?
Good. I mean, I was thankful that we're still open. That I'm thankful that treatment facilities are still considered essential, and that I was thankful for that. But a lot of fear, man. I'm fearful that it's already challenging enough that you're trying to be clean and sober and stay connected. It's one of the biggest parts about recovery for me was having a healthy support network, and all of a sudden there's no meetings. So I was happy that some stuff was open, but my heart was sad that the challenges were there.
My heart goes out to it as well. I have to agree 100%. At least there were still ways for communication for the still suffering addict and those that are trying to find their way. For a person in recovery, so you work in the recovery field, right? And you have now for how long?
7 years. Just a little over 6 years. 6 years.
How much time do you have?
7 years and 13 days.
And 13 days.
Yes.
My dude. So for a person that works in the recovery field, how hard is it to maintain your recovery and work in the recovery field at the same time?
That's a good question.
I know.
Okay, so at first I thought this is good because when I work with people, I get to see the other people's wreckage and their stress and their story. That reminds me of what not to do. Right. That was my first outlook. Was like, this will be good. It'll remind me. So I don't remember your question, so you'll have to re-answer.
A person that works in the recovery field.
Yeah.
How do you maintain your recovery all at the same time?
Oh, well, just to be completely honest and candid, like for me personally, it really starts with my higher power and His Son. Having that, because any problems I have, I got a great support network. I got an awesome wife. Preacher, I got friends, I got people I can talk to, but really it's my higher power. That's my foundation. So no matter if something's going stressful or I'm grateful, I got that. Beyond that, it goes into having a healthy support network. And scary thing though is that no matter if you got 1 day or 17 years, you're just as acceptable to making one bad choice.
So it's no daily grind.
It is honestly a daily grind.
I say that all the time. It's like, in order for me to continue to do what I do here in this field of recovery, I have to continuously work on my recovery. You and I are very similar in that sense, where I use my higher power for my recovery more than anything. I am a man of faith, and I do lean on my higher power a lot for my recovery. And I find that the challenge for me is myself. My thoughts.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. The only thing that ever has gotten in my way truly is myself.
I had this guy this guy came up to the cafe one time, and I never really thought about it. He's like, my name's so-and-so, and I'm my problem. And I looked and I was like, whoa, bro. Like, my mind blew. I'm like, that's my problem. Yeah. That's me, bro. Like, I'm my freaking problem, you know? Like, and then, you know, being able to work on that every day.
Well, there's truth to that, because if we're not careful, so many different things can cause us problems. The weather, the COVID-19. Life is unfair, unfortunately. Life is unfair, and there's a lot of screwed up things that happen, and it's easy to find a reason to be upset. What I tell people is, really, if anything's upsetting or like you're stressed or you're struggled, we're responsible for how we respond, I guess. We can't control what happens, but we can control how we respond.
I love that. So, keeping the politics and stuff out of it, how do you feel 2020 for you's gone so far?
Oh, the year. Okay, when you said 2020, I'm thinking news. Camera. 2020, the year. That was my attempt at a joke. Let's see.
That was my attempt at
2020. We're halfway through the year, and I wonder what else is going to happen.
I feel like it hasn't even started yet. Does that make sense? Like, all this stuff. Like, I was telling Stephanie the other day, I feel like we're in a game of Jumanji, and we're stuck on a level that we can't get out of. And how do we beat this level?
There's no cheat codes.
Or is there a work level like we can go to? Like, you know, like, I feel like, yeah, you're right. Like, what's next? You know?
Yeah. I mean, the Hornets, luckily we haven't had the Hornets yet. But, I mean, really, you look back, man, I mean, really, each year, there's something that usually happens. Unfortunately, this year, there's just a lot of stuff happening.
A multitude of wants.
Yeah, and I try not to get all conspiracy theory. Yeah. You know, because when I quit doing drugs 7 years ago, I really learned how to focus what I spend my time and my energy on with my brain. And I know if I'm not careful and I start looking at conspiracy theories, oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine some of the stuff that people think right now, because it all makes sense. There's a lot of stuff that makes sense. I don't know what's next, but I know this, that no matter what happens, I have a good God. I have a good God, and I'm not going to lose sleep over stuff that's out of my control, which is a lot of things. Because there's a lot of stuff that I disagree with in the world, and there's very little of what I can do about it. But I try not to lose sleep over stuff I have no control. Acceptance.
And when you're powerless, right? Uh-huh. If the whole world could do their 12 steps, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I feel like whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen.
Yep.
And you know, like, people in recovery who's already slung themselves through the mud, like, we can adapt to just about anything.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, the whole isolation period, I was like, oh, y'all never did whole time.
You're like, oh, this is...
Y'all never did whole time before, man. Like,
yeah.
I'm at home with my TV, my big screen, my PlayStation, my food, like, you know what I mean? Like, but we're able to adapt rather well, and I just feel like, you know, a lot of people, you know, we, like Stephanie and I, we have this list over there of good things we did during COVID, and it reminds me why we do what we do. Oh yeah, it's behind that board.
I can see a third of it.
Yeah, wait till you see the rest of it. Ooh, it's good, but you know, it keeps pushing forward. What are some of the good things that so far from January 1st to right now has came out with what you're doing and how you're living right now?
You mean in my life or in my perception of the world?
In your life, what you've done, how you've moved forward, how you said, you know, when you accept, what have you done spectacular in your eyes so far during 2020?
Oh boy,
let's get some positiveness going on.
Okay, well, that's I don't know. That seems shirt. Like a real thanks. I buy all my clothes from the Goodwill. $5 versus $39.99 at Fred Meyer. I don't know, man.
He's a skateboard kid.
Yeah, totally. I can still drop in at the Bear Creek 4-foot, but I can still wear a helmet. They call me the old guy that can skateboard. I used to get offended at, but then I realized to a 16-year-old being 43, I'm way old. The positivity, the part is, like, I don't know. It seems like such a broad question. I tell you this much though: some of the best things that's come out of this year is family. Really, family, and the people that we drew near to in the moment when we couldn't go and visit. So, like, in my family, we have some very select people we love to go visit. We love eating. We have food, and that's like breaking bread. When we weren't able to do that. people that we would talk to, that we engage with on social media or over the phone. Like, I don't know, just kind of brought in more of a understanding of, like, I don't want to say who I can live without, but the people you would hate to not have that last conversation.
Right.
You know, like when somebody dies.
To make sure you have those conversations with them.
Like when somebody dies, you know, and you're like, oh, I wish I would have spent more time. I wish I would have told them I love them. Those people. It really reminded me that, okay, that tomorrow, next week, I can lose some of these people. So it made me really just look at the people I do love and care for, and like make sure that I let them know, or that you know, at the time I do get it's good time.
Bro, that was so good. That was so good. And you know, one of the reasons, by the way, you guys, if you guys have any questions for Brent or anything, you know, feel free to ask anything you want. But like, I just wanted to just put out there that like, you're inspirational to a lot of people. Believe it or not. You
okay?
Like, I made a comment. I seen a comment today from Sarah Brown. Yeah. Did you see that?
I read part of it. Yeah.
She said she's very proud of you. She's seen you in the worst. She's loving you at your best. And like, what drove you to want to get clean? What was your?
I can answer that. I was tired of always being miserable. That's it. I was just tired. That's. I've learned that's the best part of it. The best ingredient for recovery is you really just gotta be tired. You want something different. I was tired, man. I was no longer getting satisfaction on the stuff that I got satisfaction, and I was tired of that constant chasing of getting high, then knowing that once I sobered up, I had to have something. That cycle. Drugs no longer became fun for me, and then I started getting all these negative consequences. So I knew.
How old were you when you started?
Started using? Oh gosh.
No, started skateboarding. Of course, started using.
Well, it's kind of a trick question. I started drinking technically at 2. Every year or twice a year for my birthday, my brother's birthday, Chuck, our family friend, I give these little grenade beers, and we drink these little grenade beers. And you know, as a 4-year-old kid, or actually no, I take that back. It was 4. 4 years old, drink a little grenade beer. Felt cool, looked cool. The parents all the adults were like, oh look, he's drinking a beer, that's cute. So I drink at least twice a year from 4 all the way on up. I started using pretty heavily around 11 or not heavily. What am I saying? 11 or 12. I started doing like, you know, some of the harder stuff. I would do mushrooms, acid. And for me, that's a young age.
That's
so
skateboard stuff.
Yeah, it's heavy use. 16. 16 years old is where I did the old school crank. This is not the same drug I thought it was in 2008, but I was doing like at 16. I just wanted to escape my thoughts and my feelings. So my real actual heavy use was 16, but I used quite a bit in between.
So you'd say like it really took a hold around when you were 16?
That's a tricky question. No, because I was very stubborn. Even at 16, I still don't know how addictive things were to my friends. So I'd like to say I used responsibly. It really didn't screw up my whole entire life until 2008. And the reason why is I thought crystal meth was the same drug as it was back in the early 90s. It was a complete different drug. When I did that drug in 2008, thinking that I can do it the way I did it before, where I can do it, put it down, it was a different drug in that time frame. And it gripped my soul. It was the first time I had absolutely no power to get enough. Because you can sleep on it. You can do crystal meth and sleep on it. You can eat on it, which back in the day, you would do the old crank. You couldn't eat. There's a lot of stuff you just couldn't do. And it was a different drug, and it gripped my soul. But from 16 to 2010, I had a job. I used to justify my use. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. At least I'm not a junkie.
Right.
I'm not a junkie. So I can use. It's not... And it took me many years to figure out that, even though it screwed me up, but not as, just in a different way. Because I used to say, it's okay, at least I'm not a junkie. Then the day I became a junkie and I had no way to justify it, that's when I was like, oh, damn. I finally become what I said I wasn't for the last 25 years. Now what do I do with it?
What did you do with it?
Are we allowed to cuss on here?
I mean, as long as you don't say the F word, you be
yourself.
yourself.
No, I went batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Are
we allowed to cuss on here? Yeah, I want you to be authentic. We just try to watch the mom and pop cuss.
Oh, yeah. So once I did it back in 2008, I started doing the crystal meth. I lost, the classic lost things. I lost everything. I lost my hot rod, my truck, my gun collection, my coin collection. Just lost stuff. And once I lost all these physical things, and I lost my job and couldn't afford to do my habit, that's when my belief window changed. I used to say, okay, stealing's wrong. Respect your elders, never hit a woman, stealing's wrong. Well, it became, stealing is wrong unless you're stealing from a store because they're insured.
Oh, justifying.
Yeah, justify. I wasn't going to get too clinical, but so once I started justifying, I started stealing. I got involved in...
minimizing, manipulating. We'll go ahead and clear. That's what you did.
Yes,
the criminal thinking errors.
And then at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm already screwed up. And like I was saying, once I became what I identified as a junkie, then I was like, well, wait a second, I can't get any worse than this. So for that 2 years, I was just, I didn't care. I kind of wanted to die. Now, when I was young, my best friend of mine killed himself, and when he died, I knew what it felt like to be on that end. And because I knew what it felt like and I was bitter, I was never going to do that in a traditional sense. But when I was running and gunning and using dope, I didn't care if I died. And I wasn't actively trying to kill myself, but I was reckless, and I didn't care if I died.
Bro, that's big. I want to thank you for sharing that with us. That, I think you think you know somebody, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I see you all the way around town, and I know that your story's immaculate, but that was pretty deep. Thank you.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Southern California. Moved up here.
Of course you are. Of course you are.
Listen to my slang.
Of course you are. Where at in Southern California?
Lancaster was the last place. We lived in Reseda, Encino, San Fernando Valley.
San Fernando Valley. Yeah. So,
Los Angeles.
Old punk rock kid?
Oh, yeah.
Pennywise, NoFX, all them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So when did you move up here?
90. I moved up here in the 8th grade, so like 90. Graduated in 95. It's like 92 or 93.
And that's when you started.
Yeah, that's when it really got out of hand. But again, and I don't want to stay out of hand in your traditional sense, because for 15, 16 years, I do the things that I held a job, I paid my bills. It didn't get out of hand in a conventional sense. It got out of hand that I allowed it to become the new norm.
What are some of your... What are you grateful for today?
I'll tell you, I'm grateful that I can have fun in recovery. So when I quit doing drugs 7 years ago, I kept hearing all this.
I fixed that. I see what you did. I see what you did right there. I
I heard a lot of people say, "Oh, fun in recovery." And I'll be honest, my first thought was, "Yeah, right, you can't have fun in recovery," because not only did I struggle with drugs, I struggled with the hardcore porn addiction. Like meth and porn was like, that was my thing. So I'm like, oh, wait a second, you're telling me I can have fun without doing these things? I was like, yeah, whatever. I am grateful that not only am I having fun, I'm having the most fun in my whole entire life, and I get to remember it. I don't have to remember lies. I get to be who I am, and when I get embarrassed about doing and saying things, sometimes people, when I get excited, I still got tweaker-like tendencies. I have a headlamp I keep at home. Yep. Yeah, if I do something where I need my hands free.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, I'm grateful too, because also my sponsor.
Some of those things come in handy.
Oh yeah. I mean, whether you're camping or if you need your hands free, I have a headlamp, and
Didn't you have a headlamp on camping last week? Yeah.
They serve a purpose. Now, you don't need a headlamp at 7 in the morning in your front yard. That's not. There's no.
At 7 with the grass, make sure it's all even.
I am grateful that I have fun in recovery. Truly, like. I just am.
How do you have fun in recovery? What are some fun things you do for your recovery? And the reason I ask that is because I think that is so important for people to understand, because my Mount Pitt brothers from Oxford, we always said that, we didn't get clean to not have fun.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you do for fun in your recovery?
I'm 43 and I'm a parent of little kids, so my fun has changed. Fun for me is really spending time with the family. Okay. I'm going to nerd out. So, for my birthday in February, I got a Star Wars action figure.
Yeah, you did.
It's coming in the mail Monday. It's a Mandalorian. Mandalorian is excellent show. Yeah. Anyway.
And if you guys haven't seen it, there's the plug.
Mandalorian is amazing. So
Disney
I got this action figure, and I play Dollhouse with my daughters. It's a 6 and 4-year-old. And for some reason, like, I don't feel awkward. I'll bring my action figure. Like when we go to the coast, I'm gonna bring my action figure. My kid's gonna bring their dolls and their dollhouse, and we're gonna play. I love hanging out with my family. That's one of the main things. River, motorcycle riding.
That's so good.
And I'm grateful. I'm very grateful that, and I'm grateful to have stress. Back in the day when I'd get stressed, it would ruin my day. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm stressed. I don't know how I'm gonna pay this bill. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, right? I don't lose sleep over anything now. Like I was
said that.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear that? He just said that he's grateful for stress.
Yeah.
Lesson.
It's true. Because it used to devastate me. Now it's like I get stressed. I bring it to my higher power in the sun, and I'm good. Now I still have some responsibilities outside of that, but I used to lose sleep over everything.
Wow.
Motorcycle riding, by the way, river. Love the river.
Love the river. I mean, we're Southern Oregon. How could you not, right? You like to fish and stuff?
I like catching
free
fish.
fishing this weekend.
Is it really?
Yes.
Okay, I know what I'm doing. I like fishing. No, hold on. I like catching fish, but I'm not big into fishing.
Okay.
Like I love pond and lake fishing because that's just easy. You can just catch fish all day. But I'm not a big fan of all day long. Like, yeah.
Yeah, you're a Southern Oregon cat. These guys.
But yeah, I like catching fish.
So,
let me ask you this before you get your next question.
Okay.
You answer your own question. What is it that you like to do for fun? If you had to answer the same question you asked me.
So I had a substantial amount of clean time before, and what I found, because I would like my whole childhood I didn't know what fun was. So when I got clean last time, I found out that not only was I was terrible at sports, but I ended up getting better. But I ended up being really good at sports, and I enjoyed them. So I did softball and golf. I really enjoyed barbecuing. I found out that I'm a pretty damn good cook because I would line cook forever, and then once I got my Weber, I like to cook, you know. And then I lost all that again for the next 10, 15 years, whatever it was, to heroin and meth. And now that I'm clean again, like volleyball.
Yes.
Softball. Remember, we've done it before?
Yes.
Softball.
Yes.
I love softball with my guys, fireballs. I really like golf. I will be golfing today, Centennial. And I really enjoy getting to know my wife every day a little more. Yeah. I enjoy, I know, and I think you can agree with this, like, sometimes this feels like a job, but most of the time it doesn't feel like a job.
I agree.
What I got to do yesterday for a gentleman really lit a fire under my ass all over again for what I do. Yeah. So, like, I pretty much, when I wake up, I'm grateful. I don't get many chances to be ungrateful because I see good in almost everything now today.
Yeah, good. That's a good way to do it.
I get to do my discipleship. I get to be with my pastors. I get to live with my friends and my family. And here's the thing is, people trust me.
Isn't that weird?
She gave me a key to the building.
Isn't that a weird feeling?
The heck,
I know.
Dude, you know what I mean? Like, I have a key to my house, my church, and this community. Like, so it's like that's what I'm grateful for today, is that people can trust me. That's how, that's what it is.
I get feeling trusted was strange at first for a while.
Right.
Because we're so used to being in the dark, not trusted.
Right.
But that come natural. Oh yeah,
Yeah, but it felt right not to be trusted in your addiction.
Yeah, 100%. So then when you start getting trusted, it's like
almost a little uncomfortable.
It was.
It's like
I got given a credit card for with my name on it. Now it's not and for an incentive program at work. It's an incentive program, and I got to use a credit card. And just at first, it was like, I got 7 years. It wasn't as strange as it would have been like 7 years ago, but it was just, it's cool.
Look what you've earned, bro. You've earned the right to be able to have those things, Brent. Like you've worked really hard, and you've worked with a lot of guys and gals, bro, throughout this whole adventure of recovery, and like I said, like you have become an inspiration. I remember one time I was trying to really get into peer support, and I was working at the gas station, and you were transferring jobs from one to another. You pulled up, and I was super excited because I was getting ready to get my foot in the door.
Yes, I was happy to hear what you were going to do.
Yeah, and you were like, you need to do this. This is what you were made for. You are going to be good at this. And like, I remember every word, so I held on to that, man. And like, I thank you for that, because it was those little inspirations, you know, and that's how you are. Like, we did an MAT training one time together,
Yes.
and like you were like, the questions you asked them were like, they were like, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't, like, you got them, bro. And like, you know, I look up to that. With all that being said, so I asked you what you were grateful for. 7 years clean, 7 years, 13 days?
7 years.
13 days?
Oh, yeah.
What's your proudest moment in 7 years and 13 days?
Okay, that's a hard question, but let me just sum it up.
How about I say this? Moments.
Okay, there's a lot, man. There's a
That's
lot,
why-
but it
that's
boils
why-
down to this. 7 years ago, I was in residential treatment, and I thought I wasn't capable of much. I said, I'm terrible at math, I'm terrible at computers, not very smart. Like, my self-worth was low, right? So 6 months out of treatment, I started realizing I'm smarter than I am. One of my proudest moments is when I realized that I'm very capable, and my problem wasn't that I wasn't smart enough. I struggled with laziness. Finally realizing not only what I'm capable of, but knowing I'm capable of more, because knowing that really helped me get through some of my hardest moments.
Wow.
First time I cried in sobriety really hard was I had a year and a half clean. I went to oddly enough, the job I'm at now, I went to go work as a unit tech for a residential job. They interviewed me. They said, we like you. We think you'd be a good fit. I'm like, sweet. And they're like, yeah, clean time. You got at least 2 years, right? I'm like, no. They're like, oh, well, you need to come back when you got 2 years. This was like, I had like 9 or 10 months still to go. It was a little under a year and a half. I cried. I was like, oh my gosh, I want it. Well, I didn't get that job for another 5 years almost. 4 years. And I'm glad I didn't get that job. If I would have got that job when I would have got it, I wouldn't be as good as I am now. Now, I'm not great at what I do. I'm good because I know where my limitations are. I know what I'm good at. I know that when I'm not good at something, I know the people that know how to do it. And I've learned that it's okay to fail.
Okay.
And that it's okay to not. I'm thankful for unanswered prayers sometimes too.
What are some of your proudest moments? Let me rephrase this whole thing.
I just really didn't answer that
Blah,
question.
blah, blah, blah. You didn't answer that question.
Yeah, that's okay.
You want to answer real quick?
No, keep going.
Okay, so I know, like, my thing in my recovery is, like, I knew I could do it when.
Yeah.
Right? And then my when was when I seen so-and-so, right? Like,
yes.
And I remember Charlie McNew one time telling me, Brandon, you could do my job if you applied yourself. And I actually told Stephanie this the other day, and that sticks out to me. Like, who were some inspirations?
Benny. When I saw Ben had like 3
He
months,
said that so fast.
dude. If I'm like, cause I love him. I said, if this guy could do it, I have a shot, huh? Yeah, Ben Chow.
If Ben can do it, right?
And I was like,
Ben's our guy.
He still inspires me to this day because being able to see where we were at in that gutter and that darkness, and then seeing that light that he is. He's another guy like you. There's a light to you guys that when you guys talk or you're in a room that we walk into and you're there, I'm like, oh, I love being around you because there's a light to you.
Thank you, man.
You have a draw to. So I'd say Ben, and the main thing that inspired me though was that I saw other people I used with that were clean and sober and having fun. I just wanted something different than that miserable darkness I was in. I wanted something different, and I saw through the rooms that it's possible. That's not a myth. That you can do it, and you can. There's a lot of I used to hear get a sponsor or steps, get a service position. They over and over and over, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do these things. And until I got my service position running the Young Guns back in the day, I realized why. So the service position, sponsor, working the steps is huge. But I couldn't do any of that without my higher power and his son, man. Like, period.
All right, so we're going to backtrack.
Do it.
What are your proudest moments in 7 years and 13 days?
Okay. I'm married, and I'm proud that I got to learn how to fight appropriately. I'm still working on that, but we get arguing back in the day.
Your battles?
Well, not just pick my battles, but just how to do things in a healthy way. It's okay to be angry and argue, but it's not okay to get angry and argue and throw televisions like you're on Jerry Springer. Like I'm proud that I've learned to argue. I've learned to have a voice. I love being married. It's probably one of the biggest. Being married and having kids and not doing drugs is huge, because having kids, like I've had more stress and worry. Staying clean and sober and having kids
balances that pretty well.
Yeah,
and we saw you with your kids at church that day. I gotta tell you, your kids, you guys are beautiful kids, man.
Thanks.
They're beautiful though. They're some
my
proudest kids.
Proudest. My marriage and my kids, my proudest. Second is going to college at 36 years old. I graduated with 3.7. I got to get one of those honors ropes, and I probably could have got a 4 if I probably just 3.7 is huge.
Yeah, at 36, I get it, bro.
Yeah, I was a 2.0 at best in high school. Proud that I did that. Thanks. And proudest moments. I didn't become a certified drug and alcohol counselor. I wanted that. It took me 2 years, 3 years.
You are a CDAC?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And I just renewed again. I was gonna go for my 2, but instead of renewing again this next go around, I'm gonna be a 2. I'm just lazy, man. I'm capable. I'm capable of a lot, but I'm lazy. I just don't like studying. I don't like some of the effort.
I love you.
I thought I was dumb, dude. I did dumb stuff, but I realized I'm very smart.
I really enjoyed having you with us today, man.
Thanks, man. I'm way more comfortable than I thought I would be.
Everybody always gets that. They always get this weird little pickle in their belly, and then there's nothing.
You say a pickle in their belly?
Yeah, that's what my grandma used to say that all the time. Pickle in the belly instead of butterflies.
I've heard bubble guts
because they're sour.
Oh, I like that.
So, for the people that are watching out there that don't have any idea how to catch a glimmer of hope, that aren't sure how to not be afraid, how to reach their hand out, how to pick up the telephone, how to ask for help, do you have any suggestions for them?
Yeah, just do it. Just do it. Don't wait till a better time. Don't wait when you're in it. Don't put stipulations on it. Like for me, I put a lot of stipulations on things. Well, I don't want to have kids. I'm financially stable. I don't want to do this until I'm this. Just do it. Ask everybody. And do it. And don't give up, because it's too easy to give up. But yeah, ask and just keep asking until you find the right people that give you either the answer you're looking for, or I don't know. Just don't quit and don't stop. Be loud. Be loud.
Be grateful and give yourself grace.
Yeah.
You guys,
and remember, give yourself that room to mess up. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to not succeed in the conventional sense of what you call success. Just ask.
I love you, bro.
Love you too, man.
All right, you guys. Is there any no questions?
Oh, I didn't ask. I should.
Well, we're wrapped up now.
Well, somebody said, "Tell me who your favorite sister is."
Oh, yeah.
I wonder who that was.
Yeah, I wonder who that was. I can't shout out names. If I did, it would be Susie.
Of course. We love you, Susie.
But seriously, man, 7 years ago, if you would have told me that recovery is possible and that there's fun in recovery, I wouldn't have believed it. But I am telling you now that it is more than possible. There's so much to be grateful. And I'm grateful for that stress, because it doesn't ruin my day.
I never heard anybody say that before. I really like that. I've sat on this thing 35 people, and I've talked to 127 people a day, dude. Now anybody say that. So I'm actually going to utilize that. I'm going to think about that. I'm going to take that home with me today. Do you have any other final thoughts before we go?
Joe Dirt said, "Life is a garden, dig it. Sometimes you got to keep on keeping on." It's actually more profound.
It actually is more profound than
you keep on keeping on. You don't just
I heard you say that one time at an MAT program. I heard you say that.
I love that.
All right, you guys. We are super glad that you guys joined us today. We're super glad that we have Brent here. We love you guys to death. If you guys don't know that we love you, we love you. If you don't believe in yourself today, I'll believe in you until you can. You guys know how to get a hold of me right here, Reclaiming Lives Recovery Cafe, 541-890-0590. You know who I am. You know where I'm at. You know where I'm going to be, and you know why I'm here. We love you guys to death. God bless.